Everybody, welcome back to another episode of FSi DFS Fantasy Baseball Picks. I'm your host, MyGuru31, and we are here. This is officially the 500th MLB video for FSI. So, still on location in Syracuse, New York. That's why my sound might be a little bit different, not in the home studio. And I actually get to stand up and do this in a laundry room in a beautiful Airbnb. But anyways, so we've been talking about being excited about 500. So here are the details on the giveaway. So we will be giving away 3 prizes. We'll be giving away $50. The top prize, we will be giving away VIP pass to FSi DFS for a month, and we'll be giving away NFL package. So what you need to do to enter is put your name in the comments below, and what we will do is we'll give it a week, so we'll let people come back to this, but you have to be a subscriber to the channel. So enter your name in the comments below, and for the money aspect of it, I will pay it out via PayPal, Venmo, Apple Pay. So have to have one of those electronic transfer units there for you. So just as a thank you for watching these videos and tuning in. So by next Friday, we'll do the drawing live on next Friday's video. Make sure that you put a comment below on this video, and come back and next Friday and watch the video and see if you won. So good luck to you in the contest. So we have a 13-game slate here, and it's actually a pretty nice one. So I'm pretty glad for the 500 video. We thought it was going to be yesterday, but then we found that there was a NASCAR video accidentally put in the wrong playlist. So this is officially, yesterday wasn't bad. Like the day slate was okay. The night slate did really well on. So 13-game slate here, only a little bit of a weather concern maybe in St. Louis and Kansas City. But other than that, we should be good. We got some good pitching. We've got some good hitting situations. So let's just jump right into it. First game, we have the Oakland Athletics and the Washington Nationals. Paul Blackburn and Joan Adon, or maybe it's Joan Adon. I'm not interested in either one of these pitchers. I mean, you can put them in probably maybe the cheap range here, but I think they're more towards the bottom. I don't think you really need them on this slate. If you're mass multi-entering, I think both teams potentially, can struggle at times, but both teams can annoyingly put together hits and stuff. And Washington's pretty patient, doesn't strike out a ton. And I know Adon had a decent outing, I think 1 or 2 times ago, but again, there's potential upside on these pitchers, but I don't know where the floor is, so I'm not going to recommend them in cash games. If you're mass multi-entering and you rotate them in as your SP2, then I have no fault with that. But I do like the bats on both sides here. I like Oakland probably the best, especially the lefties here. Blade, Brown, you make a nice little mini stack here with lefties. Even if Reese is leading off, I don't mind him either. A little expensive, but just if he gets on, he can just turn singles into like triples, and just the points just keep on racking up with his speed there. Washington on the other side, same thing. Abrams leading off. Thomas is good against both sides. Ruiz is a switch hitter. Maybe Smith. So probably like a 3-man fill in there. I don't think I go like a full stack on that. Next up, we have Minnesota Twins and Philadelphia Phillies. We have Dallas Keuchel coming back from the grave. I don't know like what Minnesota is doing there. Why, they would, unless they're just trying to rest young arms, or he's not there to make a playoff push. I think he's just somebody to fill in for this turn in the rotation, and that's it. Christopher Sanchez on the other side is a decent young pitcher for Philadelphia. He actually made me quite a bit of money in preseason this year during spring training. And he's had some decent outings too, and the Twins have a high strikeout rate, so they're usually worse against righties, but against this lefty here, I think it'll be fine. So he's my favorite cheap pitcher on the slate, and I think I'll be using him as an SP2 quite often tonight. Keuchel, I'm not touching. So Minnesota, I think they're leveraged because I think Sanchez will have some decent ownership. And Philadelphia is going to be my third favorite stack. And if you can't get up in it for the Dodgers and Atlanta, I think it's definitely a really good play here. Plus, they've got some really cheap young bats like Weston Wilson, who was on fire in AAA. He already has a home run since he's been called up. Johan Rojas, also an outfielder here. Even though they're hitting at the bottom order, they're righties against a lefty with Keuchel. It should only be the second or third inning before they get to him, so he should still be in the game. I don't think they knock him out that soon. And with Harper out with back spasms and not in the lineup, then Wilson should see it. He also plays some third base. So if Wilson and Rojas are in the lineup, then definitely we'll throw those in with some other righties as my stack against Keuchel. Reds and Pirates, we have Andrew Abbott and like Johan say, Johan Oviedo. Abbott, he was on fire when he came out, and he slowed down a little bit. Pittsburgh, as you know, can be annoying as the Braves last series. For some reason, they just started hitting against their pitching. They knocked Strider out of the game really early. So again, I've said it before, they're young, free swinging bats. So sometimes at least they have nothing to lose. So they have no plate discipline. They are trying to hit the ball every single time up there. They're not taking pitches. They are really ready to go, locked and loaded. So that can lead to hits and runs. That can lead to a lot of strikeouts. So Abbott's in a decent spot here, probably my fifth favorite on the higher end here today, and Oviedo on the other side. I think he's okay in the mid-range. Like Cincinnati has not been good outside of the Great American Small Park, and Pittsburgh is a pitching park. So I think in the mid-range and GPPs, you could consider him. Bat-wise, Cincinnati, I think, is 150 max, and Pittsburgh leverage if Abbott's going to have some ownership. Next up, we have the Chicago Cubs and the Toronto Blue Jays. We have Assad and Berrios. I don't think I'm really interested in either one of these here. Assad's going to be a fade for me, even though Toronto's lineup's been down a little bit. I think they'll be fine against him, especially at home. And Berrios has better home splits, but the Cubs have been decent recently also. So I think Toronto makes an interesting GPP stack against a kind of struggling pitcher. And I think, and my favorite team, the 150 max, if you want to have some exposure to them since they've scored so many runs recently. And Berrios, even at home, has struggled a little bit too. I think they're definitely in play, especially like the lefties here. So Talkman, Happ, Bellinger, even Swanson's probably okay. Candelario, you know, 4 or 5 man stack, definitely in GPPs for you. And Toronto bats, again, nothing really sticks out here. Just however you want to stack them in a GPP. Detroit Tigers and the Boston Red Sox. Skubal against Chris Sale. The Red Sox have been underwhelming. Like we talked about in yesterday's video, and early in the week, we saw they were going to Kansas City for a 4-game series, I believe. And every single day, they just kind of laid an egg. They've only scored like 2-3 runs when they had totals in the 5s and the 6s, and against horrible pitching. And they just have not come through. Even, you know, we had someone astutely comment in the video that they couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. I don't even think they could hit a baseball into the ocean standing on the beach here recently. So I think, I don't know what's going on with Boston. The wind's blowing out again, so it should be good hitting conditions. But Skubal, I think I actually kind of really like him here in the medium range at 7.5 here against these Red Sox who have just been struggling. So definitely consider him. And then Chris Sale is coming back. He's probably going to go 3 to 4 innings, so he's a fade for me. I don't think that he's going to go too deep into the game and don't know what condition he's in. So it actually makes me like the Detroit bats as my second favorite cheap stack of the night, especially the righties here. Verling should lead it off. Ibanez has really good power and it's really cheap as second baseman. Torkinson, Jake Rogers, yeah, some really decent selections there. And the Red Sox, if you think this is the night again, I have them as a top GPP stack just because they have so much potential. They're in a great thing. Reese Snyder probably get pitch hit for as soon as they bring a righty in, but like Duvall, Devers hits both sides. Okay, Story, I've never liked him. He's always let me down, so he's kind of my do not play list. But Pablo Reyes is definitely has some power and probably should play the whole game. Urias, like we talked about a couple times, coming over from Milwaukee is decent. So I'd probably stick to the righties with Deaver if I'm building a Boston stack. Atlanta Braves and New York Mets, Charlie Morton, McGill. Morton struggled recently, but he goes to pitching park upgrade here, and the Mets haven't been good against right-handed pitching as much. So I left them up there in the high category, but I think the top three there are probably the ones that I look for more. McGill on the other side is definitely a no. The Braves obviously going to be one of the top stacks on any single slate. You can stack them any which way. I'm still waiting for some of the cheaper guys to. Actually, I think we get a cheap outfielder yesterday. I can't remember, but still, they're expensive. They're hard to stack. I think there's enough value in pitching if you want to go a 5 stack, but man stack, but I think that's more of a GPP. I usually do like a wraparound with like Harris, Acuna, Albies, Riley, and sometimes I'll take out like Arcia, who had a home run yesterday, so it worked out well. So just don't be afraid to play some of the bottom of this order and do like a wraparound stack instead of trying to get like the top 5 in your stack. But with some of the decent, cheaper pitching and some good cheap bats and some good situations, you might be able to do it today. But I feel that's more of a GPP build than a cash build. So maybe go 3 Braves and then take 5 of a solid cheap stack like Oakland, Detroit, and you should be good to go there with some adequate pitching. Mets on the other side, I think they're intriguing. So I have them as my third favorite cheap stack here because they're not super expensive. You've got guys in like the 2 and 3K range. Is if you just have like Alonso and Lindor like up in the 5K range, but everybody else is pretty much affordable. So if Morton continues to struggle, they might be a sneaky stack for you to play in a GPP. Next up, we got the Brewers and the White Sox. We got Corbin, Burns, and Kopech. Burns, I think, is definitely, if you can get up to him, a priority. I know he struggled recently, but this is a great get-right spot. I know it's in Chicago. The wind is blowing out a lot of miles per hour, so that does make it definitely a better hitting situation. So just keep an eye on that. If it scares you up, Burns, I understand it, but the White Sox just haven't had the pop that they normally do. Other than so, maybe he gives up a couple runs. I think he struggled with walks mostly, so we'll have to see who the umpire is there. But if it's a pitcher's umpire against this lineup and the wind dies down a little bit, I think he's definitely, if you can get up to him, probably a really solid play. Kopech on the other side, not interested in. He's got hit around a little bit recently, so Milwaukee definitely I think is in play as a stack in GPP. They've been doing pretty well recently, and the White Sox would just be probably an extreme leverage spot against a really good pitcher. Angels and Houston, we have Detmers and Verlander. Detmer's been good recently, but this is almost a full right-handed lineup here, and even Alvarez and Tucker hit lefties okay. And they really starting to come together. It was a great series against Baltimore. I believe it was a 4-game one. I believe they split it 2-2, which is good because maybe it's going to be like an ACLS preview. I really look forward to that matchup in the playoffs. But yeah, Houston's back and looking good and has like definitely some strong right-handed hitters here and even the lefties. So I think they're probably my 5th favorite stack here against Detmers and the Angels. Like I just don't leverage against Verlander. I think he'll be fine. Like Otani's really the one that scares me the most here, but they only have a 3.51 total, and Verlander still has been on recently. He's looked good going back to Texas, or Houston, Texas. So definitely be playing Verlander as an SP2 in contest today. So St. Louis and Kansas City, the Battle of Missouri. A little bit of rain here. Looks like about 40% and then getting worse throughout game time. But if it's delayed, they might be able to get this game in, hopefully. So it's Wainwright and then a bullpen game. So pitching, we're not even touching, which makes the batch really compelling. So St. Louis, I think, definitely be in play against this bullpen situation. And then Kansas City, we saw them hitting pretty well at Boston. Really like them as a cheap stack against Wainwright, who has just a shell of himself. It's just kind of an embarrassment. And unfortunately, a good pitcher that's still around, but probably should, be retired and not pitching anymore. I don't think he's really ruining his legacy. He's the World Series champion, and it's just not working for him anymore. And it's kind of sad to see. So I think Kansas City is definitely a good spot there. San Diego and the Arizona Diamondbacks. We have Blake Snell and Ryan Nelson. Snell, I know he's struggled too, and Arizona's been pesky, but they have just been quiet recently. So I think Snell's in play here, probably my second favorite. If you can't give the Burns or don't trust the wind, I think if he's a good pay up here too. And I think we'll probably have lower ownership because people look at Arizona and think of Arizona of like a month ago and not recent Arizona. And Ryan Nelson on the other side, not interested in. I think the Padres are probably my third favorite stack here. He's a young pitcher that hopefully will be able to put it together, but struggled so far. So I think even though there's a lot of right-handed bats here, I think they'll do well against them. They've got a 5 total. And then Arizona on the other side, if you think that they come to life here, then I have them in the 150 max category. So multi-entering. I always still play an Arizona stack at 6 of the righties. So Marte, Pham, Walker, Gurriel, Rivera is probably where I go. Perdomo if he's in there at shortstop, but they usually play Armand against righties, and he's just more of a defensive guy than an offensive guy. Rockies and Dodgers, Austin Gomber and Lance Lynn. Austin Gomber has been actually following Greg Maddux recently, and his pitching is turned around, but I don't think it's enough to play him against the Dodgers. So I'm out on him here. Lance Lynn on the other side is probably the top pitcher on slate at 8-9. He has looked brilliant since he's come from the White Sox to the Dodgers. He comes up against the Rockies team that is almost a AAA team with some maybe future stars and some nice pieces in it, but just something that just doesn't work overall this season. And they're not in Coors Field. So I don't think I'll be playing any Colorado and anything more than a leverage stack because Lance Lynn will probably be the highest owned pitcher on the slate. Would mean, I guess. So if you want to play a leverage stack of Colorado and they do go off, then they will probably be super low owned and might bode very well for you. Dodgers on the other side, I think, are going to be my favorite play on the slate here. I don't think JD is going to come back from his back problems. So probably helps Rosario get a better batting spot. So I'm going to stick to the right-handers here. Will Smith got the day off yesterday. It looked like he got scratched, but I think it's just the lineup or DK or somebody had him in. It was kind of confusing what they were trying to do with him. But I think I didn't see any injury things on any reports or notes or anything. So I think Will Smith will be back in and should be perfectly fine there. So going to take Betts, Smith, Rosario, and Muncy, still decent at home run yesterday. Taylor, Outman's even good lefty on lefties. So lots of options there for the Dodgers. Probably not Rojas. He's been ice cold. And Kiki Hernandez, I've never really liked in the last couple of years. Like back in his first stint, like he was like really, really good against lefties, but I haven't seen much recently. So that means tonight's going to be the night. Orioles and Mariners, Kyle Gibson and Castillo. I like Gibson here. He's had 2 solid outings, I think like almost 25 DK points apiece recently against decent teams. And Seattle has power, but they do have to strike out a lot. So I think Gibson's definitely in a good spot here, and really like him behind Sanchez as my second favorite cheap pitcher as an SP2. And then Castillo's on the other side here. Baltimore on the road, I mean, they can get to lefties, righties. They are just so stacked with how they can throw bats out there, and they're going to go switch hitter, lefty, switch hitter, lefty to start off, and then Mountcastle's been hitting both sides. So, and then Frazier, another lefty. So, and even Cowser might make the lineup in the bottom. So he's going to see a lot of lefties. I think he'll be okay. Probably my third favorite high price pitcher here. But Baltimore, definitely I play them every single day. So I think that it'd be a nice leverage stack also. And Seattle, I think would just be 150 max against Gibson. I think Gibson will have a really good game there. Final game, Texas Rangers and San Francisco Giants. John Gray versus Scott Alexander and then Ross Stripling. So like San Francisco just going like look like Tampa Bay like 5 years ago with like all these openers and everything, almost every single game. So Gray, I think, is intriguing here. I think in the medium range, he'd probably be my fifth favorite pitcher against the Giants, who will mix and match against them, obviously. And then I'm not touching the bullpen game. Texas bats, I think it's just a GPP. San Francisco 150 max. It's just not a ton in this game that I really like. If you're looking for late height hammer, going like Dodgers or Baltimore there, I don't think this game really, it only has an 8 total, 4 on each side. I don't expect a ton from it. So that's the breakdown. So let's look at some lineups and we get you on your way for your day, for your weekend. So Lance Lynn is definitely a favorite pitcher, so I'm going to him with cash. And then Dodgers and stacking the A's with them. It works really well. So Will Smith, Seth Brown, Chris Taylor, Betts, and Bleday is the core that I have for you there. FanDuel, same thing. Lynn, Smith, Betts, Taylor, Bleday, Brown, same players. And if you have to take a one-off on FanDuel, I'll probably do it in the outfield. But whatever works for you for your lineup. GPP, I'm going to pay up. I'm going to take Burns or Snell or Castillo there. Verlander is my SP2. And I'm going to take Detroit. So I probably would you can play JT Realmuto there, who's a right-hander in the Philly stack part of it, or you can take Haas or Jake Rogers, the other catcher for Detroit. Torkelson and Ibanez against Sale, and then give me Baum, give me these young guys if they're in line up, Wilson, Rojas. If they're not, give me Turner, and then I'll fill in with whoever else is Castellanos, even Schwarber. I'm fine with lefty and lefty there. And then for I have more salary on FanDuel if I take Burns, and so give me a St. Louis and then I will take Philly stack. And in the utility there, Wilson's a third baseman. He got deleted there, but he should be on the bottom in the utility spot. So that's what I got for you. Just remember that this is the 500th video. So if you want the $50, the NFL package for FSI or 1 month VIP, then put in the comments below your name so we can have a drawing next Friday for those prizes. And again, just appreciate you watching, but you do need to be a subscriber. So if these videos help you, like it, but subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And then please share with your friends also. And just thank you so much for helping us get to 500. If you weren't watching this, we would have never made it this far. So, and I think we're doing some good things and helping some people with DFS and MLB. And, we've got a lot of repeat viewers, a lot of people that write really good comments to us and give us some good feedback too on how we can do things better. And that's how we've listened, and that's how we've grown and gotten where we are. So I appreciate you watching this weekend. If you get into FSi DFS, if you go into the description of the video, you can also get in for our free preseason football package too. And if you're not the winner of the regular season package, we do have a deep discount on it if you're looking for a season-long football. Keep in mind, EPL starts today also. So Premier League soccer is back. We've got golf, we've got baseball, we've got football right around the corner, NASCAR, we got trucks, we've got Xfinity, we've got the whole slate. So I'll have 3 videos for that too. So lots of things coming. Hope everybody has a good weekend. Good luck in your contest for Major League Baseball. If you have any questions, put them in the chat below or hit me up at MikeRotor31 on Twitter. And I appreciate you watching this video. And if you watch all 500, then you're awesome too. So thank you for everything going so far and have a good day.